Valley Talk on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
And a very good morning to you. Hey, I'm Dave Adams. This is the normal Valley Talk time slot. Of course, it's the second Wednesday of the month, and that means we're going to do Vet Talk here in just a moment with Victor Kuhns. And he has a special guest here in the studio. We'll be talking more about that in a moment. We do need to tell you that we're still giving away Quiznos Taste on Us. It's a $10 gift certificate we'll give away at the end of the show today. Just send me an email, dave@kgal.com, or you can call the station, 451-KGAL or 926-KGAL, and say you're interested in Quiznos Taste on Us. We'll put your name in the hat, draw it out at the end of the show. We also have two other giveaways here. We have a couple of passes, and we have two each, so I have a total of 4 tickets. 2 to one winner and 2 to another winner. And this is for the Yale Spizwinks. Now, the Spizwinks are going to be performing tonight, 7 p.m. at the Russell Tripp Auditorium, Lynn Benton Community College. We had a person who won tickets. They're not going to be able to go, and so the tickets go back into the hopper, and we're going to give them away 2. We have 2 pair. And you can enter that drawing by sending me an email, dave@kgal.com. Put Spizwinks on the subject line, and we'll draw for those at the end of the show. We have 2 pair of tickets to give away. That's the housekeeping measures, and I'm Dave Adams. Glad to have with us in the studio today is Victor Kuhns, VetsHelpingVetsHQ.com. And by the way, you can watch the KGAL Valley Talk show being streamed with live video on the website, VetsHelpingVetsHQ.com. Victor, glad to have you on the show.
And we're glad to be here this morning. We've got a lot of things going on, so we're just going to dive right into it. One of the things I want to talk a little bit about here just for a minute before we get to our guest is Vets Helping Vets HQ and some of the things going on in the Valley. As everybody knows, not only do we help veterans advocate for their benefits and their disabilities with the Veterans Administration, but we also go out and work on projects. We just finished a project for Mrs. Chris Ingwall, and her husband, Charles Ingwall, was a Korean War veteran who died in 2007. Chris was placed into a wheelchair and was unable to use her home. Vets Helping Vets and the volunteers from Vets Helping Vets were able to come together and renovate her home to make it accessible for her wheelchair.
And we have an interview with her on the front page of your website.
We do have an interview with her. You can go on there and take a look at that. It was very interesting. I want to thank all the volunteers that come out. And we had volunteers from Portland, from Eugene, from Salem, from Lebanon, from Albany. We had volunteers coming from everywhere. Another person that I want to recognize that to me is very important. He's been a public employee, and he's now just completed 48 years of service. And he is getting ready to retire March the 1st. He's been an advocate and in a position of really stepping up and helping veterans. He was one of the instruments that helped us get our new veterans retirement home started in Lebanon. They're going to be starting one in Roseburg. This gentleman has done a tremendous amount of work, and I want to say thank you personally today to Jim Willis, and thank you for your service and what you've done for our community and the Valley and the veterans around the country. Jim, you've done an awesome job. Thank you for your work. Also, ODVA is not just losing Jim Willis, who's been instrumental to helping us with all of our programs, but Val Conley. She is also leaving after 30 years of service to the Oregon Department of Veterans Affairs and helping veterans with their programs. Val was the deputy director, and she resigned and took her retirement January 1st. Val, we're sorry to see you go. We miss you, and we hope that the future brings good things to you. And also, we are losing Linda Adams, who's been with the ODVA for many years, and also the OVHS, the Oregon Veterans Home in the Dalles. Linda Adams retired in November. She has been a great piece of developing the programs at the home, and we're going to miss her. Another gentleman that has come into my life and has brought a lot of information, and somebody that stands up and says, hey, we need to remember our soldiers. And he's now a part of our community, and that is Dawson Officer. He is the owner of Four Spirits Distillery out in Campadare. And Dawson has story, if you go online and read it, is quite a story of him and his men and what he's trying to do for veterans. He stepped up, and we want to thank him from Vets Helping Vets HQ for the donations that he made to help us continue with working with our veterans. This morning, I brought somebody on that a few people here in the Valley know, and some people have only heard his name. But today I'm hoping that we get a lot of ears out there listening, because he has a lot of good information. He has a lot of practical experience in working with veterans. And he is also our own Veteran of the Year that was designated in November. John Birch, a member of the AVVA and the Vets Helping Vets HQ. John has been working tirelessly in the community for helping veterans. Also, he goes back and he advocates and he lobbies for veterans with a group from here. And one of their criterias is, and I'm going to let him get into it and explain it a little more and give him a little bit of time here, and that is on the years and years of scientific research and what we're doing to try to stop the use of all Agent Orange, not just watered-down Agent Orange. John, I want to welcome you to the show, and thank you for coming.
Thank you, Victor.
And can you tell me a little bit about what's going on in Washington, D.C. with Agent Orange and the herbicides used today?
Right now, there's a rider on a bill known as the Farm Bill, pertaining to a test that a agro company wanted to do with a watered-down version of Agent Orange. The article that I ran into in last December was pertaining to dioxin and Dixie was the title of the article. And I read this and then compared notes to Agent Orange. I realized that they're still continuing to spread a poison in our food system. And it evolved from there. We went back to Washington, D.C. in January, presented it to Senator Patty Murray's office, this document, and by the end of that afternoon, the ball started rolling. Patty Murray has been very instrumental in this, along with Peter DeFazio, Senators Walden and Wyden have been involved with this issue about spraying a watered-down version of Agent Orange on our food supply system. And my study started from there about Agent Orange and the effects of from the Vietnam era on down. I am involved with AVVA, which supports the VVA mission statement. Never again will one generation leave another behind. There is a lot of information out there about Agent Orange, and it's just something that we need to deal with and make people aware of what they're doing. And we could talk hours on this subject, Vic.
Well, so often we have people out there that are really doing well and doing good for our communities and our people, and even our young men and women in the service, John. But sometimes people get things a little confused when they don't listen with both ears. And one of them was at the point when it had been indicated that you were the founder of the Agent Orange Project, and we know that that's not true, that you come aboard with a lobby group to go back to Washington, D.C. and help lobby to keep Agent Orange away from our food supplies here and throughout the country, along with others in many other states. So The Agent Orange was a very troublesome problem we had in Vietnam. Through scientific proof, they've proven that it causes many problems. Can we get in and talk about some of the problems we're finding just out of our research through the time in Vietnam and some of the military bases here in the States?
I can touch very well on some of those points you brought up, Vic. The facts that I ran across, which are backed up by scientific research from the years after they discovered the problem what Agent Orange was causing to our soldiers, our service members in Vietnam and other places, Korea, military installations. They have sprayed Agent Orange because that was the catch-all herbicide of the day, so to speak. You have soldiers that were actually doused, sprayed with Agent Orange in Vietnam, and they didn't realize what was going on to them back then because the spin on it was it's here to protect you from the Viet Cong and or their ambushes by defoliating the forests surrounding your areas of operation. I've read morning reports about units, complete platoons or companies or battalions sprayed by Agent Orange. The effects in the beginning were not noticeable, but eventually things like acne-like lesions started showing up on body parts. You move the clock forward, the service member comes home, they have children, and the children now have a myriad of medical problems, which have been identified over the years through scientific research, comparison from one soldier to the next soldier or service member. There are same type of cancers occurring, clusters, diabetic episodes where people do not have a history of diabetic type events in their family's history. And it's come down to the point where they have assessed that 7 generations from the beginning of this individual service member's exposure to Agent Orange, it will occur for 7 more generations. And this affects the children in many ways. You have them born with birth defects, all kinds of stuff that is happening to these people. You have individuals, because of their initial contact, and they go through life and they realize their children are affected, they ended up eventually killing themselves over this Agent Orange.
And in the process of this with our children, where can people go right now and look it up and find the research that we have scientifically to show all these things that are happening?
There's several documents out there. A lot of it I've retrieved from the internet. We have federal law. We have Veterans Affairs studies. We have private college studies. We have geneticists working on this. I got most of my information, like I said, it started with the internet, and I've gone to the internet, I've talked to people. A lot of my resources have come from talking to an individual veteran who has been diagnosed with some type of Agent Orange malady that is affecting their lives. And I'll tell you what, when you talk to an individual that he knows he's dying but trying to live life to his fullest, that is the impact right there on studying Agent Orange.
It is, and one of the most important parts that people need to realize, we refer to, and what we're talking about today is Agent Orange.
Yes, sir.
Actually, what we're talking about is herbicidal poisoning throughout the country, because there's many versions of it. There's Agent Purple, Agent Pink. There's many different facets of it, but because Agent Orange is the word, the buzzword that everybody knows, that's what you're hearing here today. But one of the most important parts I want everybody to understand today, and John is very good advocate in this. We talk quite often, and but John is not a scientist. John is not he's a lobbyist to help clean up the waters and the ground and the foods that we eat today and our children eat. He wants to leave a better generation. John, other than the fact, because I know you weren't in Vietnam during the time it was going on, what got you started in focusing on the poisons of herbicides?
what got me into it was, like I mentioned earlier, the dioxin and Dixie, and it went from there. When I realized that the marketing scheme of Monsanto or any other large agro company came to a marketing scheme where they realized that Roundup was not working anymore, so they had to come up with a stronger, better herbicide. And from that point there, that's what started my studying into the effects of Agent Orange, plus being trained by the men of the Vietnam era. When I was in the military, I heard it firsthand from them, what was going on. And don't know what else I can say about it.
Well, what we're going to say about it right now is we're going to take you off here to a radio break, and we're going to let our sponsors have a few words and let you think a little bit about the Agent Orange and the herbicides that we're talking about, and we'll be right back.
Going out to lunch at a nice restaurant can be expensive, and the big portions put you more in the mood for a nap than a productive afternoon. Mama's Fine Italian to the rescue. The small appetite senior menu is just right. Anyone and everyone is invited to order from the Light Appetites menu for lunch from 11 to 4 p.m. with tasty entrees beginning at only $3.95. Why go hungry or go anywhere else for lunch? Eat healthy, eat light at Mama's. Closed Sunday and Monday, so make the most of Tuesday through Friday and join your friends at Mama's for lunch. Dinner only on Saturday. Mama's features charbroiled steaks every day. Make reservations for dinner or pick up a bottle of fine wine. Seating is limited, so please call for reservations. 541-451-5050. That's 451-5050. Mama's Fine Italian and Wine Shop on West Oak between Main and 2nd in Lebanon, across from the Big Blue Napa Auto Parts building.
It's Truck Month at Mark Thomas Motors in Albany. 0% financing for 36 months on 2012 trucks. Ram is the only pickup manufacturer to achieve 20 mpg Highway Plus across its entire light-duty engine lineup. You'll love the Ram 1500 Hemi V8 in regular quad and crew cabs with 3 bed sizes. Get behind the wheel of a Ram truck. Hard charging power, easy-going gas mileage, an incredibly smooth ride, extra grip and pulling power. Lots of 2012 trucks to choose from now at Mark Thomas Motors in Albany. You'll be proud.
Mark Thomas Motors, why pay more?
The famous Monterey Jazz Festival is coming to Eugene. World-renowned for its artistic excellence, sophisticated informality, and support of jazz education, the Monterey Jazz Festival is mounting its 3rd North American tour, featuring critically acclaimed Grammy-winning jazz artists Dee Dee Bridgewater on vocals, Christian McBride, bassist and musical director, pianist Benny Green, drummer Louis Nash, Chris Potter on saxophone, and more.
Lovers in flight, upward they fly.
One performance only in Eugene at the Halt Center this Friday at 7:30 p.m. 60% discount for middle and high school students, so bring the whole family. For tickets and more information, contact the Shed Ticket Office, 541-434-7000. That's 541-434-7000.
It's Chris from the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Greater Sandy Ann. If you're like me and made a resolution to lose a few pounds, you should join me in our 2013 Diet and Donate competition. A $50 donation for kids gets you in. Weigh in by January 9th and regularly after that. On April 9th, Biggest Losers will be rewarded with accolades, admiration, and prizes. You lose and kids win. Drop by the club at 305 South 5th Street to get started.
Into the woods and onto the waters. Listen to Northwestern Outdoors, Saturday nights on Smart Talk 1580.
Well, we're back on the air here, and again, we talked about a little bit about Agent Orange and herbicides that sprayed, and I'm going to go in here a little bit more. There's an area that I really want John to get into with us, is, again, need to understand that John is an AVVA member and Vets Helping Vets HQ member, and he also is the Veteran of the Year. He was put there because of all the work he does for the veterans throughout the community. John has a little bit of a history and a story that I'm going to ask him to tell about how he actually got involved in going out here and being an activist in working on the Agent Orange project. I believe that it was a very good friend of his that got him started and has pushed him and got him to understand where it's at.
Pertaining to what you just said there, it all started with one of my counterparts in the VBA asked me to find a topic to take back to Washington, D.C. to Patty Murray's office because she had an invite to go back and talk about veterans issues. I hit him up with a couple ideas. He goes, nope, that's already covered, been taken care of. So like I said, I ran into that article about dioxin and Dixie, and I already knew what dioxin was. It was one of the most deadliest compounds ever invented by man. It's got like a shelf life in the dirt of 1,000 years. It's just a crazy, long-lasting poison. We took this article back that I brought up, and like I said, the ball started rolling. What Monsanto was trying to do is circumvent Environmental Protection Agency, or DEQ, so that they could test without any type of government interventions before they put it on our soil. And like I said, it was a marketing scheme. The marketing scheme was that this new dioxin or herbicide, which had for lack of better terms, about 40% the strength of Agent Orange. They were wanting to slap onto the dirt to protect the crops from competition for water by other plants. Now, you're putting a poison into our food system, it dawned on me, and there was a legacy out there called Agent Orange. I put the two and two together, and this information presented to the senator ended up on what they call the Farm Bill, which has not been settled on yet. What Monsanto or the big agro companies are trying to do, are they're trying to circumvent the government system of checks and balances and be allowed to do this without any proper testing to see how harmful it's going to be to humans that consume the product that comes harvested from the field. And I coined a term at the time, poison for profit. And as it turns out, as I studied more and more, Victor, I found out that this has been going on in this country for a long time. I found areas within the Pacific Northwest that have had Agent Orange sprayed on them until they outlawed Agent Orange in the late 70s. The chemical companies found new ways to do this. Now, in some of my research in the middle 60s, Dow Chemical of Canada, their scientists and or individuals that run a company found out that this might be more powerful than what they wanted to deal with, because the workers that were producing this product were coming up with signs of some type of sickness or illness because of their exposure to the dioxin they were producing at the time. I have figured out that we have a food system. Our food system has been corrupted with chemicals that we consume, and it is making people sick. There's a possibility, or studies, nothing confirmed solid yet, that some of the foods in our system, supply system, does help, or it does create a situation of obesity. You eat food, you feel hungry, you eat more food. For whatever reason, it happens with the chemical breakdown inside the body. Like I said, you said, I am not a scientist, I'm not a chemist, biologist, or anything in that field. I'm reading what I'm reading, and everything that I read, I try to find out if it is backed up by some type of study or scientific research, and or has been approved by Congress as a law to protect the veteran or give him compensation for what occurred to him while he served his country in Vietnam.
And one of the things we need to remember, John, again, you mentioned it earlier, is that such things as obesity and things like that, because of the chemical breakdowns, those are studies that are still in progress. Those are studies that they're trying to figure out how the chemical components are actually affecting our bodies in other ways. Other than the cancers now that have been proven, the ischemic heart disease, the Parkinson's disease, disease, the Lou Gehrig's disease. All of these are connected to Agent Orange. We need to be remembering that, and to be able to say anything about this, we look for scientific proof as well as what the legislature and our government comes back and says, yes, this has been proven. Yes, this is an acceptable condition that is caused by herbicides. Therefore, this is what we're going to do for our people and our soldiers where it was used. One of the things, John, that is really out there and people are on a constant watch for is people trying to figure out, what should I do? How can I be proactive in making these things happen? There's not enough people speaking up. And a lot of people ask, what can they do? Such as they get mixed conflicts. I've heard that actual chemical handlers in the service never come down with Agent Orange Agent Orange conflicts such as ischemic heart disease. Well, I find that it sometimes takes years for those chemicals to affect you in one way or another, whether it's prostate cancer, whether it's a form of skin cancer, whether it's Lou Gehrig's disease. Maybe in their 70s before they ever see signs of it. But the effects that are there, because I've heard of pilots from helicopters not being affected by it. But yet now we're starting to run into those that are starting to be 70, 80 years old and starting to show signs of what the chemical is doing to their body. Most people are turning around making the excuse, well, it's old age. It didn't happen because of the herbicides. But we are constantly looking through scientific proof of what the herbicides are doing to our bodies one day at a time. So how can people get involved and be a part of what you're doing? And can they get a hold of you and say, I want to be on board?
Well, one of the things they can start doing is from this show, if they so desire, go research it on the internet. There's thousands of articles on the deal, on the subject. Another thing, too, is I know there's several people out there that have a family member, because I've heard the reoccurring theme, I've got an uncle or I've got a dad, or, that he died when he was, 50 years old. And could this have caused it? Well, it could very well have caused it. I've also ran into people that were in the airfield of the military as a handler on the birds that were spraying the defoliants, and they are dying from it. But then again, I've ran into veterans who were sprayed, but yet have not shown signs, and probably will not show up until they do reach their 70s or latter 70s, early 80s. What they can do to be involved is, one, we have information out there that, hey, we have on Facebook for my chapter, for example. You can go check it out. We have all the information there. I am approachable. I'll give you an application to join our organization to help continue pushing this fight about Agent Orange and or the rainbow herbicides, and what cause and effect it has on their family. If I could be allowed, I can give you my cell phone number over there.
John, we want your cell phone number, your email address, and also your web page for the AVVA and the VVA.
Okay, let's go with the web page first. It's on Facebook. It's Mid-Valley Chapter 585. You can jump in there and add a comment if you so desire. My email address is birchDAWGG@yahoo.com. That's all lowercase.
And can we get that again?
One more time. birchDAWGG@yahoo.com. Small lowercase. My cell phone number is 541-905-0820. And one more time for cell phone is 541-905-0820.
Now, on these numbers and these web pages, the web page, that is for the AVVA, or the Facebook page is for the AVVA. So when you're going in there, you're going to be typing in AVVA
Mid-Valley Chapter 585. Yes.
So you got to remember to put in there the AVVA, Vietnam Veterans of America. So in doing this, we're going to leave you with these addresses while you're writing them down, and we're going to take a quick break here, so we'll be right back.
The Osgood File, sponsored in part by Stamps.com. Save time, trouble, and money by buying and printing official U.S. postage with your own computer and printer. In a moment, a special offer just for you. This is Charles Osgood.
Once upon a time, a guy with a ukulele was the biggest star on CBS radio and television. Remember Arthur Godfrey?
Girl met a boy, boy met a girl, once upon an ukulele.
Notice he pronounced it ukulele. However you pronounce it, you don't hear that much of it these days. But our CBS News colleague Seth Doan went to Hawaii to meet a ukulele phenom.
In the skilled hands of Jake Shimabukuro, the ukulele is transformed.
By the end of the performance, you want to feel like, man, I gave it my all.
More after this.
New Year's resolutions come and go, but if you run a small business, I know one resolution you can keep. You can maximize every minute and every dollar for your small business by using Stamps.com. Save time by skipping that trip to the post office. Just buy and print official U.S. postage for any letter or package right from your own desk with your own computer and printer. And you'll save money because Stamps.com costs a fraction of what an expensive postage meter does. Stamps.com is the better way to get postage because it's the smarter way to get postage. I've used it in my office for years now, and I don't know what I'd do without it. Once you get started, you'll see what I mean. And since you listen to the Osgood File, Stamps.com has a special offer for you. It's a no-risk trial plus a $110 bonus that includes a digital scale and up to $55 in free postage. So go to Stamps.com right now, click on the microphone at the top of the home page, and type in my last name, Osgood, O-S-G-O-O-D. That's Stamps.com and enter Osgood.
Seth Doan was telling us about ukulele star Jake Shimabukuro.
The virtuoso picked up the instrument when he was just 4, and as a young man was relegated to performing at weddings and coffee shops. Until this video first hit YouTube in 2005. He still has no idea who posted his rendition of George Harrison's While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
I was just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy, you know? What is this? And back then, my name wasn't even on this video.
YouTube says it's one of its first viral videos.
On his visit to Hawaii, Seth learned that the ukulele is not Hawaiian, it's Portuguese. And from Jake Shimabukuro, he learned that playing it is not as easy as it may look.
When people see other people playing it, they immediately think, oh, that looks like fun. Oh, I can do that. Oh, let me try.
The Osgood File. Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
When you look out across the Willamette Valley, you'll see plenty of banking choices. Willamette Community Bank is here to give you an option that's pretty unique, like no other, in fact. Hi, this is Sue Kalina, Relationship Manager. Willamette Community Bank provides an alternative to large national and regional banks by offering customized financial services and local decision-making to benefit local people, local families, and local businesses. How many banks can say that?
Willamette Community Bank, service like no other. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Take the first step. You know you can go at least that far and quickly discover the next step is within your reach. And the next step, join the Y for free now through January 15th. It only takes one small change to make a difference. It takes 21 days to create a habit, so start today. No joining fee now through January 15th at the Mid-Valley YMCA, 3311 Pacific Boulevard, Southwest in Albany. Call now, 541-926-4488. 541-926-4488. Online at ymcaalbany.org.
You depend on your car and you depend on your mechanic to keep that car running right. Depend on Wacoma Auto and Radiator Service. Over 70 years of combined experience repairing and servicing all late model cars. ASE certified master technicians Chuck, Bill, and Wally are TechNet professionals, offering the latest computer diagnostics, affordable rates, and a nationwide warranty on all parts. Wacoma Auto and Radiator Repairs in Corvallis on Cornell, just off 9th Street down from the Goodwill. You can depend on Wacoma.
Yahoo Sports Radio, weekends on 1580 KGAL.
Yahoo! And we're back here talking to you again with Vet Talk this morning. And a little bit to bring everybody back up to speed, we've been talking to John Birch with the AVVA and Vets Helping Vets HQ. But before we get back into this a little deeper, again, I want to remind everybody that for your benefits, if you're looking at VA and veterans benefits and programs such as education, disability benefits, and different things like that, you can call myself or Victor Kuhns at 541-905-7237. Again, that's 541-905-7237. Or you can go on our webpage at vetshelpingvetshq.com. Go under advocates, and you will find a list of advocates that will represent you and help you through the process. We have a lot of programs going on. We've got a lot more going on. If you are a veteran or a family member of a veteran and you would like to volunteer for projects, we have projects out there to help our wounded soldiers and their families. Again, call us at 541-905-7237 or email me at Victor, V-I-C-T-O-R, Kuhns, K-U-H-N-S, at yahoo.com, and I will respond back to you by a phone call if you leave your number. And we are always looking for volunteers that want to come in. Very quickly, early in the year, I was told to mention, so you can plan on being a part and helping out. August 17th will be the 6th annual Vets Helping Vets Picnic at Timberland Park this year. So we're asking all of you to start planning, coming out, honoring our soldiers, honoring our fallen. We had a great program last year, and we look to have a greater program this year. So we ask you all to come out. Very quickly, Thursday night at Stutzman and Croft Warehouse out behind Home Depot. There will be tomorrow evening a Veterans Commemoration Parade committee meeting with the committee, and what we're doing is finalizing our Veterans Day parade we had in November and preparing for this year. It takes a long time to prepare for it and a lot of volunteers. So if you're wanting to volunteer and be a part of it, and come on out. Okay, we're going to get back here to John. He's been taking some notes. And John, tell us what you do with the AVVA and why you're in there.
Why I did it was, well, to be perfectly honest, I got corralled one night at the Legion by some old fellers, as I called them, and they wanted to know what I was doing with my life besides just hanging out at the Legion. And, well, you know, we shared war stories and stuff, and I decided I'd go check them out. What they were trying to do at that time was they were trying to build up their AVVA organization. And I went to a couple of their meetings, and I decided to throw my name in a hat. General member, worker bee, helping raise funds for the scholarship program that was established by Mid-Valley chapter at Lynn Benton Community College, helping with their dinners and breakfasts, and you know, just general all around trying to help raise money for helping veterans and or their families. Later on, I decided I wanted to move up. So I became chapter representative, and later on state representative. And I moved on up again to regional director with the AVVA. From there, I got involved, like I said, last December with the dioxin and Dixie issue, and it has grown from there. I travel around the region, which encompasses Alaska, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and Montana. I haven't made it to some of the further north states, but we are trying to build the organization because AVVA will be the legacy of the Vietnam Veterans of America when basically the last one turns the light out. The reason why we want to leave a legacy for the Vietnam veteran is they have children. And these children, like I said, will be affected for 7 generations, they estimate. And this is through research. Now, with that in mind, who's going to be there to help the Vietnam veterans' children if it's a lights-out type organization? This is what we're trying to prevent from happening, a lights-out organization. We want to be there to help the children of the Vietnam veteran, and we also want to help the children and or the veterans of current conflicts that are occurring, because those men and women are coming home. They are struggling. You have the highest rate of unemployability, homelessness amongst this group of individuals. I can't quote numbers off the top of my head, but when you look at the numbers, it's just disproportionately higher than other segments of our population in the United States.
Well, one of the things that people need to realize, not just Vietnam veterans, but in the United States, we have approximately 112,000 veterans using the VA system in some way, shape, or form in the state of Oregon. We have over 330,000 veterans in the state of Oregon that are not touching the system at all. And these veterans, all ages, and even our returning veterans coming home, are not being informed well enough to be given the information they need to get the benefits that are afforded to them. And when I say afforded, they were offered. These people signed a blank piece of paper, says, I'll give my life up if I have to defend this country, and these are benefits I'll receive when I get home. If I get home. They're home, and it becomes very difficult for them to get the benefits. That's why we have Vets Helping Vets HQ. And a little bit of that was I give you a couple of small books the other day to take a look at. And I know that you kind of got thrown into the pot, as Joe would say, your good buddy. You got involved, I believe, with Vets Helping Vets HQ because you were voluntold.
Voluntold is a common term within VHV.
and so, but have you regretted it?
No, there's been no regrets. I look back on where I started and where I have come. I've grown. I've evolved. I still have a long road to learn. You look at the situation of vets returning home, for example. You study what they are going through. You look back what happened through past generations of returning veterans. When you talk about trying to get them help, you need to have experienced people on the ground that have already gone through the system to explain to the returning veteran, look, it ain't going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time. And, you know, with the books that you presented to me, the twins, as I call them, because they weigh about as much as 2 twin babies, it was confusing to me to look at it, but after thumbing through it and going back and forth, I could figure out how the book works. This book is the Bible on veterans' benefits.
Give them a kind of a taste of the twins and show them what has to be gone with the veterans and what they are.
This is about a 4-inch thick book this way, like this, and there's 2 of them. They both accompany each other. Veterans Benefits Manual and Federal Veterans Laws, Rules, and Regulations. And I'm going to tell you something, this is not an overnight read. It's going to take a while to figure out how these things work. As you notice, I have tabs around them. That helps me find what I found that took me half an hour to find and start.
How many pages are each of those books?
Oh, my gosh.
My goodness, there are so many pages. I have been reading those books now for over 10 years.
I'm going to say in the thousands.
And these books change every year. Every few months we get new laws that go into those books.
Now you want to see why people want to go green.
So, in the process of these books, this is some of the red tape that our veterans and even our family members, widows, have to go through just to get their benefits.
This book has 1,900 pages.
If it is not paperwork done by the book, they're going to be denied. So we need to have advocates out there that are willing to learn. We do hold advocate classes through the Vets Helping Vets HQ. If you're interested in signing up for the classes, you can go again to my email, victorkuhns@yahoo.com, and send me a message that you'd like to be involved in the next class. The only charge in that class is you be there. And we are going to take a break right now, and John, we will be back, and we're going to close up with a little bit with you and your Agent Orange and where we're going.
Lewis Seed Company and Shed is taking this moment to call your attention to the fact that in times of war and peace, the men and women of our military dedicate themselves to serving our country. Their commitment, patriotism, sacrifice, and courage keep our country safe and strong. They appreciate the bravery of our U.S. soldiers. Let's honor those who have lost their lives in the line of duty and salute those who serve today. This special reminder from Lewis Seed Company and Shed, on the air because they care.
100 years ago, Woodrow Wilson became our 28th president. Henry Ford started the assembly line with the Ford Model T. The Mona Lisa was stolen and Charlie Chaplin began his film career. First-class stamps were 2 cents while gas was 8 cents a gallon. Adding to that list, the founder of Wilson Motors in Corvallis was born. That's right, Mr. Wilson is turning 100 years old this month and still comes to work 6 days a week. That's a great reason to have a sale all month long at Wilson Motors celebrating his lifetime achievement. No chances to win a free car, no scratch-off games to win, and no microwave sets. Just good old-fashioned sale prices on all vehicles marked down. No games and no surprises. All new Ford, Dodge, Chrysler, and Jeeps, and 130 used vehicles all on sale. Great prices and great selection. 100 years ago is when the famous Cracker Jacks box also began. So stop on by Wilson Motors in Corvallis and get a free box of Cracker Jacks to celebrate this landmark birthday. Who knows, you might even win a cool prize in your Cracker Jacks. But for sure you'll get the gift of savings all month long. Happy 100th birthday, Mr. Wilson.
Experience the Wilson Way difference. Wilson Motors in Corvallis.
There are many debt relief plans and scams out there. So if you find yourself with $10,000 or more in credit card debt and you just want the facts about legitimate debt relief solutions available to you, then call American Credit Card Solutions for a free informational kit that will tell you about your options in simple, easy-to-understand terminology. The kit is free, the shipping is free, and there is absolutely no sales pitch, just the facts. Sent directly to you in the mail. This free informational kit can be mailed to you today so you can examine all the debt relief options available in the comfort of your home with no one pressuring you to make a quick decision. Call 800-912-1515 and ask for your free kit. That's 800-912-1515. This is a first-come, first-serve offer, and kits are limited. So call right now for your free debt informational kit. 800-912-1515. That's 800-912-1515.
A good web page is a must sales tool for today's businesses. Sandy M Communications will put together an efficient, thorough web page that is right for your business. Sandy M Communications knows how to bring customers to your door and your phone. Call them at 541-223-7444. Put Sandy M Communications to work for you. Call them at 541-223-7444 or visit sandymcommunications.com.
Want to really know more? Just point, click, and learn from the Mid-Valley's best website, KGAL.com.
We're back on the air here now, and we're going to be winding up the show here in the next few minutes. So I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to go back over where they can find this information on Agent Orange and the herbicides and how they can get involved in working on the cause with you.
Okay, well, the easiest way to explain how to find this information on Agent Orange is basically go to a search engine, type in Agent Orange, and start looking at the articles. What I recommend they do if they're looking at articles, look to the scientific research, the medical research, all the research that is accredited by a known organization like the government, or government uses college studies. Look at the college studies. Look at the history of Agent Orange. Look where it came from, how it was used, when it ended, where it was used at. Be aware of these type of things. To get back to, if you want to get involved, again, you have Vets Helping Vets, you have AVVA, and if you're a Vietnam veteran, there is VVA. You have a Mid-Valley chapter here. Hey, we would be happy to welcome you to this organization, because what we do is we advocate for the veteran and his families. Now, again, you can reach me on my cell phone at 541-905-0820, and I will help you get the application to join this organization if you so desire to help veterans. If you have a veteran in your family, think of him. If you're a child of a Vietnam veteran, think of the possibilities of your medical future. We need to fight this. About all I can say on that subject there. Again, I'm new to studying this. I'm learning more and more all the time. Sometimes I have to step away from it because the information is overwhelming. There's a lot of it out there. That means it's been used in a lot of places. There are studies that are being done on, for example, women veterans from Fort McClellan, Alabama, which is known as from my research, a super cleanup site project. But in the latter 90s, early 2000s, the Alabama National Guard took it back over, and they have soldiers back on contaminated soil.
Well, John, we're going to take it from there, and we're going to make that another show. And one of the things that I want to say, ladies and gentlemen, is I'm glad that you come on today and listen to our show, because it's important you get the information out there about the Agent Orange. I want everybody to remember the AVVA, the VVA, and get in contact with them and be a support to them and how you can help them. And if you are a Vietnam veteran or a family member of a Vietnam veteran, get a hold of them. It's important. They need your support. Vets Helping Vets HQ. We are always looking for volunteers. Be out there. Come on out. If you can run a hammer, a paintbrush, we've got veterans that are in need to have home repairs done. And as we say in the Vets Helping Vets HQ, it's a hand up. It's not a hand out. And we also come along and help each and every one of our veterans. As it was once said, and every military member out there and everybody that has served, men and women alike, remember, Vets Helping Vets, the AVVA, and the VA has your six. So give us a call. We're here, and I'm going to turn it back to the radio station.
Okay, we thank you, Victor. And the Vet Talk, you can hear it every Wednesday, second Wednesday of the month here on KGAL Radio. Do want to mention that we are still taking entries for the Quiznos Taste on Us.
What you simply,
we're still on the air here. We want you to sign up for Quiznos Taste on Us. And here in just a few minutes, we're going to be drawing a name for the prize winner today. The prize is a $10 certificate, and you can use it for any way you want at Quiznos. It can be sub sandwiches, drinks, chips, whatever. And don't forget, we've got a pair of tickets here. We've actually got two pair of tickets to the Yale Spizwinks. Now, this is an a cappella group, very young, very high energy, very energetic. It's tonight at Russell Tripp Auditorium, Lynn Benton Community College. Each of these tickets are $10 each. I've got 4 tickets here. I got 2 pair, and they're going to the first people that sign up that want them. So two pair of tickets to Spizwinks tonight, and then, of course, the Quiznos Taste on Us. And just put Quiznos Taste on Us on the subject line, or call the station, 451-KGAL, 926-KGAL, and we'll put you in the drawing. Join us tomorrow for Skin Talk as we turn our attention dermatologically. And Silver Falls Dermatology is in the building here that the KGAL Albany studio is in, and they'll be taking over the microphone for about an hour, talking about issues, concerns about skin issues. It's Skin Talk, second Thursday of every month, right here on KGAL in the Valley Talk time slot. For Victor Kuhns, John Birch, I'm Dave Adams. Have a great day.
The Mid-Valley for over 50 years. You're listening to News Talk 1580 KGAL, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis.